Hello, welcome to another book review. This time I've got this book. It's written by the people that make Cracked comic books, and they make the Cracked YouTube channel. It's called The D Textbook. And just like the Cracked YouTube channel, it's the head writer is Daniel O'Brien, which he actually makes really funny YouTube videos, and then the editor-in-chief of Cracked is Jack O'Brien. So if you guys haven't seen their YouTube channel, I'd suggest checking it out. It's pretty funny. They make funny videos, and this book also was in keeping with that spirit. It also was funny. This book essentially has more backstories into things that we are taught as facts, but in fact are not facts, and talks about things that are actually more interesting than the things that we're taught about. So it was really interesting. A lot of the stuff I kind of already had read about. It had a lot of stuff with like Thomas Edison didn't actually invent the light bulb. He ripped off a bunch of people. Stuff about Albert Einstein and what a weird and almost perverted guy he was. Things about how we think we're gonna survive if we fall from 3 stories, which you're not actually gonna survive. What the Civil War was actually about. It had a bunch of things that we worry about unnecessarily that we really shouldn't worry about. It kind of called out a bunch of magazine advice, which I thought was interesting. So I was really conflicted on this book. At first I thought I was going to give it 4 out of 5 stars, but it really did end up surprising me, and it had some facts that I actually didn't know, which when I actually read something that I already haven't heard about, that surprises me. So I have to give this book a 5 out of 5. And so it's a short read. It's a little over 200 pages. And it has a lot of funny pictures in it and a lot of funny commentary. And like I said, I don't know, probably 75% of the stuff I knew, but there was that quarter of stuff that I didn't know, which was good enough to bump this up. The humor and the pictures won me over. I would recommend this probably more for, I don't want to say like a high schooler, but it would be good for high schoolers because it does directly have to do with a lot of topics you're taught in school. And me being a teacher, a lot of times I'm sort of shocked about sort of the half-truths and the shorter versions of history that I'm tasked with presenting to my students. So it's nice if they wanted to find out more about these stories and the not school censored version of these stories. This is a good place to start, because they oftentimes want to picture history as this nice idyllic setting where everything was kind and USA was always right and we always fought the bad guys, but that's not always the truth. And some of the bad guys we learned about in history weren't always necessarily that bad. So it was really interesting in presenting alternative narratives for history that we've always been taught. And like I said, I try to bring some of this background knowledge when I teach, but I mean, some of it I couldn't present to students because of their age or whatever. So if they read this book on their own, they'd have some of that background knowledge that teachers might not be able to share with them for whatever reason. So it's a good book. check it out. The D textbook by the people over at Cracked. Alright, see you next book review.